I think I'm a little clairvoyant or claircognizant because as I was doing my content planning for this month, this topic came to me. How to plan for a work trip as a working mom. I haven't had to travel for work in years. I work remote, and pre-COVID, I would have to travel maybe a couple of times a year, but since COVID, I think I've traveled possibly once. Well, 2 weeks ago, I found out that I have to travel next week. Luckily, it's only for a few days, but managing a work trip as a working mom can feel like juggling a dozen balls in the air while balancing on a tightrope. You're not just prepping for your trip, but you're also making sure everything at home doesn't fall apart while you're gone. I am the planner, the doer, the Uber driver, the glue that holds it all together. And I have so much going on personally, and my days are jam packed from the moment I get up to the moment I go to sleep. So when I was asked to go on this trip, my first reaction was, how do I get out of this? It's going to be way too hectic, but I slept on it and I knew that I have the systems in place that if I just take some time during these 2 weeks I have to prep, I can figure out how my family can survive the few days without me. If only I could figure out how to fit back into the work clothes that I haven't worn in 4 years as easily, I'd be all set. But let's jump into today's episode. Are you feeling overwhelmed trying to juggle all the many hats you wear as a working mom? Do you want more quality time with your family without distraction of work and time alone to take care of yourself and your needs? Welcome to Mom Wife Career Life. I'm Carrie, a wife, mom of three, and a recovering perfectionist. In this podcast, I will teach you how to create balance in your life by implementing healthy habits, organizing your home and your schedule, being intentional with your time and in your relationships, and most importantly, how to start putting your needs first because no one can pour from an empty cup. Grab that second cup of coffee, or if you're anything like me, your third. It's time to dive into today's episode of Mom Wife Career Life. Some working moms love to travel for work. They love the break, they love to see new places, they love the change of pace. I love to see new places, but not so much when it's work related. I don't know how moms do it all the time. It's just really not for me. I'm very much a homebody, and since I started working from home probably almost 7 years ago, I'm even more of a homebody than I used to be. I'm okay with going into the city every once in a while for a meeting. I love New York City, although it has changed quite a bit since COVID came around. But we've all gotten used to me being home and being able to manage the house and the kids' schedules with very little help. So traveling can be more than a little inconvenience for us. But we got to do what we got to do sometimes to keep that paycheck coming in. So today, I'm sharing my tips on how to plan for a work trip as a working mom and juggling traveling while still managing your family life like a pro. So let's jump in. Things first, pull out those planners. Get out those planners, pull up your Google Calendar, and see what's going on while you're going to be away, what's on the family schedule, who has practice, when and where, what's going on in school, any appointments you have, the kids have, the animals have. Look to see what's going on the weekend you get back and the following week to see if there's anything that you need to prep for, like school projects that are due, a birthday party that you need to get a gift for. You don't want to just think about what you have to plan for while you're away. You also want to think about all the personal little things you might have planned to do with your evenings that you need to get done before you go away, like the mall trip to get a dress for a wedding you have the weekend you get back. The idea is you want to be aware of everything so you can plan for it. So you're not stressed out when you're away and you're not running around like a mad woman when you get back trying to do all these last minute things that you didn't think about. Number two, sit down with your partner and go over your schedule. Once you know all the things that are going on when you're away, sit down with your partner and see what things they can do while you're away. Can they do the pickups, the drop offs, the kid's haircut? Russ's company requires him to be in the office 3 days a week, and with his commute, he doesn't get home till around 7 o'clock. He's going to switch one of his office days so he can be home and do some of the running around on one of the busiest days we have. But the other days, I know he can't do any of the drop offs and most of the pickups. So those are the days where I know I need to find coverage. So you're going to be looking at all the things that are in your calendar and identifying where you need to call that village for help. Number three, reschedule what you can. If your partner can't help for whatever reason, and there are things you can easily reschedule, like haircuts, dental cleanings, then reschedule them. Clear as much as you can so it's less things you have to look for support for and the less things you have to prep for. Number four, call on your village. Once you've figured out where your partner can and can't help and you've rescheduled all the easy things, figure out who you can ask for help with all the rest, especially carpooling. The week I'm gone, the kids have sports pretty much every day. So I'm calling on my mom friends to see if they can do the pickups and the drop offs, Same thing for school drop-offs. The girls can walk home if need be, just praying it doesn't rain while I'm gone because it's about a mile walk to and from their high school. And it's funny because I went to high school in Queens and I had to take a public bus and a train and walk to and from and in between. And even my middle school, it was over a mile away. And I had to walk to and from, and both of my parents had to work. So there were no rides. There was no such thing as carpooling either. We just figured things out and without cell phones. So our parents just hope we showed up and came back home at the end of the day. The world was just so different and arguably better back then. That's for a topic for another day, but back to what we're talking about, your village. If you don't have a circle of people in your community that you can call on for help, then you need to listen to episode 127. It's all about how to build your village and how to ask for help as a working mom. I know a lot of you feel like you're doing this mom thing alone, and it can get very overwhelming at times, but there is a village of moms out there just waiting to help you and for you to help them when your life isn't as crazy as it is right now. So make sure you listen to that episode. I will link it in the show notes. But once you have your schedule figured out, print out a weekly planner page. If you're part of my Facebook community, I have a fun little files folder in there that has a weekly planner page that you can come on in and print out. And also my time management course that I am creating. There's going to be a whole lot of fun freebies in there as part of the course. So make sure you have an ear out for those. I'll be launching in a few months. They're all so pretty and I can't wait to share them with the world. But for now, you could just go on my Facebook page, print it out. It's free. And on that page, you're going to write down all the things, where your kids need to be, who's picking up, who's dropping off. Write it all down and pin it up in your home management center. I also have our kids' schedule on our Google Calendars, and I'm adding it in the description, who's picking up and who's dropping off. So it's in all the places. So Rush just has to go in, check it out. If it's the girls' schedules, it's in their Google Calendar so they could see who's picking up and who's dropping off. So everyone is in the know. Now that you have all the schedules all set and you know who needs to be where, when, and who is getting them to and from those places, it's time to start looking at what you can prep in advance, which brings us to number 5. Prep what you can in advance. To minimize the chaos at home, get as much done ahead of time as possible. Try to leave the Saturday and Sunday before your trip as open as you can so that you can prep the house and yourself for your trip. Get all the laundry done, get the kids' clothes ready if you have to, and the school stuff ready. Get clothes and bags and school bags ready so your mornings can just run on autopilot while you're away. And if you can, prep a few freezer meals and stock up on some easy-to-make dinners that don't require a lot of thought. For breakfast, cereal, waffles, something easy that the kids can make by themselves. That's why cereal is a great thing. In the past, for school lunches, I used to prepackage all the snacks and dry food in a Ziploc bag for each day, put them in a bin with their name on it. And I put a little lunchbox joke in their lunchboxes every day with a little note for me. So I would put one of those jokes in each Ziploc bag so they would feel like I was at home. But to add to the chaos of this particular work trip, besides it kind of being short notice, we also had a 4-day trip to Boston planned the weekend before, which is this weekend coming up. So I'm only home one full day in between both trips. And it's a work day, so I'm giving myself grace that week, and the kids will be buying lunch. And honestly, moms, if dinner looks like it's going to be too hectic and you can afford it, let that be the week that they order dinner for the week. My kids are old enough to cook simple things, so if it's mac and cheese for dinner every night and they miss out on some veggies, then so be it. It's only a few days. It won't kill them. And for those healthy moms listening, don't be judgy. It's literally just a few days, and you can make them eat the extra broccoli when you get home to make up for it. But meal planning for the week will help you as it does every week. Check out my Save Time and Money with Meal Planning guide. It is in the show notes. The guide includes templates, one being your meal plan template that you can print out, write all the things that you're doing for food that week, and then pin it up along with your planner in your home management center. Even write the nights that they are ordering out and from where. You can even write what they have to order. And if there's a night where you have a babysitter, you can even be the one to call in the order from wherever you are. But hopefully you won't have to do that and you can relax a little while you're away. Number 6, stay connected, but not too connected. It's tempting to check in constantly, but this can add a lot of unnecessary stress for you. Have a set time to call or video chat with your kids so they know when to expect it and you don't feel like you always need to check in. This gives you a moment to connect with them and to reassure them, but also helps you stay focused on work and just being able to be away when you need to. If you have younger kids and they are totally missing mommy, you can make it a point to be on FaceTime. I would FaceTime my kids at bedtime. Sometimes they would read me a story. It was really cute. I would also have Russ send me videos all the time during the day, especially when the kids were babies, because you just don't want to miss out on those moments. The mom guilt was real, and I hated missing out on anything while I was away, but I always made sure I had a good time when I was away too, because when in Rome, make the most of it. I will also say this, if you have younger kids, also prepare them emotionally. Be honest with your kids about the trip. Let them know why you're going away, how long you'll be away, and when you'll be back. And especially if they're younger, maybe give them a calendar where they can mark off each of the days to track when mama's going to come home. Because sometimes preparation isn't about the physical logistics, it's about making sure your kids feel secure and they really know what to expect. I know that was a big thing when my kids were little. We've always had a calendar in our kitchen, so being able to show them when something was happening, and then every day we would count down the days. That's also a nice little mom hack to kind of show them when you're going away. You could do the countdown, and then your partner can do that when you're away and show them when you'll be back. Number 7, pack smart. When packing for your trip, think efficiently. Stick to essentials, plan your outfits out ahead of time, and make sure you have a few things for those unexpected schedule changes. I also pack a clothes steamer. I never go on a trip without it. I've only used an iron once probably in the past 10 years, and it was to iron on something on a shirt for an event I was going to, but highly recommend a clothes steamer. I will link the one I use in the show notes. It packs perfectly in a suitcase. Number 8, set boundaries with work. Just because you're on a work trip doesn't mean you have to be working 24/7. Set boundaries around your availability and make sure you're blocking in some time for self-care. Whether that's a morning workout, a quiet coffee break, or simply just getting a good night's sleep, taking care of yourself will help you stay energized and focused while you're away. I'll be sticking to my morning routine, working on the podcast in the morning. I'm headed to Cincinnati. I've never been there and don't know anything about the city, so I don't think I'll be going for my morning walks in the dark. I'll probably check out the hotel's fitness center, although y'all know at this point how I feel about gyms. I am not a fan of them. I really wish I was, but either way, my mornings are still going to be my sacred time. I already know we'll be doing dinners as a team and outings in the evenings, which I'm totally fine with, but I will make sure that I have time to sneak away to say goodnight to my babies and my boo. Number 9, plan for reentry. Coming back from a work trip can sometimes be as stressful as actually prepping for one. So before you leave, plan your reentry. This might mean scheduling an easy first day back, planning a fun family activity, or giving yourself some buffer time to ease back into a routine. A little post-trip planning can really make the transition a lot smoother for everyone. For me, I blocked off my work calendar the day before the trip and the day after the trip so that I can catch up with a lot of work too. Even though I'll technically be working on my trip, it's meetings all day where I won't be getting actual tactical work done. I also blocked off my following weekend because it's our pumpkin picking weekend, and I want to make sure that I have both days open in case one day doesn't have great weather, so that way we can kind of switch the days we're going. And I'll use whichever day we don't go to catch up on all of the things that I missed out on doing at home, and probably my podcast recording because I won't be bringing my mic with me when I go away. So if you have a side hustle, take that into consideration while you're planning too. Number 10, release the guilt. This is big. As moms, it's so easy to feel guilty about being away from our kids, but remind yourself that you are setting an example of hard work and independence. You're showing your kids what it means to balance responsibilities, and that's something to be proud of. So give yourself permission to focus on your work while you're away, knowing that your family is okay and that you've done everything you could do to set them up for success. And once you release the guilt, really enjoy this time. Enjoy the evenings out, socializing, and especially enjoy being alone in your hotel room. Hopefully getting an uninterrupted night's sleep with plenty of room in your bed. And last but not least, give yourself grace. Things will fall through the cracks, but life will go on. If your kid misses a practice or forgets their dance shoes, life will go on. If they don't study for a test as well because you're not home to stay on top of it, life will go on. If you have to miss something special, as hard as it is and as guilty as you may feel, life will go on. You are doing your best. You're an amazing mom, and you're showing your kids what it means to have responsibilities at work and how to be successful in a career. And hopefully by the end of your trip, they'll all realize how much you really do for your family and might just appreciate you a little more. Work trips as a working mom might not be easy, but with some prep, clear communication, and a little self-compassion, you can manage it like the rock star you are. Your kids will be fine, and you'll be able to dive into your work knowing everything is under control. If you have any working mom travel tips you'd like to share, we'd love to hear them. Head on over to our Facebook community, Work Life Balance for Working Moms, and tell us all about it. And if you don't already follow the show, take a second and hit that follow button so you never miss another episode. Sending you so much love and light until next time on Mom Wife Career Life with Carrie Pat. Before you go, if you found this podcast helpful, I would be so grateful if you would take a minute, go on over to iTunes and leave me a review. If you have other stressed out mamas in your life that you feel this podcast could help, take a screenshot of this episode, post it on your Instagram stories and tag me, and let them know that they are not alone and they can create balance in their life too. If there's a topic you'd like me to cover or you just want to connect, DM me on Instagram at mom.wife.career.life or come on over and hang out in our free Facebook community, Work-Life Balance for Working Moms. Sending you so much love and light until next time on Mom Wife Career Life with Carrie Pat.